While many people invest in gold, crypto, or real estate, a select few choose a more exciting path, investing in classic muscle cars. These investors not only enjoy the thrill of owning a piece of automotive history, but also see significant financial returns. Muscle cars, with their rarity and cultural appeal, have become highly sought-after assets, making fortunes for those who invest wisely. Today, we'll be going through the rarest muscle cars ever made. Number 10. 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 R-Code. The 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 R-Code is a rare and coveted muscle car, with only 57 units produced. Initially launched as a full-size model in 1955, the Fairlane was redesigned to a mid-size car in 1962, and by 1966, it had become a powerful muscle car, later serving as the basis for the Torino and Cobra lines. While not as extreme as the 1964 Thunderbolt, a factory drag car with 100 units made, the Fairlane 500 R-Code featured a race-ready package. This included dual Holley carburetors, front disc brakes, a liftoff hood, and no radio. It was powered by Ford's most powerful engine of the time, the 7.0-liter Cobra V8, producing 425 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. Originally priced at $4,500, around $43,548 today, the 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 R-Code is now valued at approximately $275,000 due to its rarity and historical importance in the muscle car era. Number 9. 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11. With only 57 units produced, this car is a rare breed. Introduced under the regular production option Z11, this model was based on the Sport Coupe and offered exclusively as a two-door hardtop. The Z11 features significant engine upgrades, including a cowl induction air intake system, a two-piece aluminum intake manifold, dual Carter AFB carburetors, and an enhanced compression ratio. While externally similar to the standard Impala, the Z11 used aluminum body parts and eliminated non-essential components like the radio, front sway bar, heater, and sound deadening material to reduce weight. Powered by a 7.0-liter V8 engine, the Z11 reportedly delivered 430 horsepower and 575 pound-feet of torque. Designed for drag racing, it was the first production vehicle to reach 120 miles per hour in the quarter mile. Originally priced at $4,102, around $42,031 today, the 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11 is now valued at approximately $432,500. With a 4-speed manual transmission, the Z11 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 10.8 seconds, and reach a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Number 8. 1967 Dodge Coronet WO23. In the 1960s, alongside General Motors and Ford, Mopar also entered the factory-prepped race car market. In 1967, Mopar introduced two road-legal dragsters, the Dodge Coronet WO23 and the Plymouth Belvedere RO23. These cars were nearly identical, differing only in badges and minor details. To meet NHRA homologation requirements, Dodge and Plymouth each built 55 units. Both models featured batteries relocated to the trunk and were stripped of non-essential features like radios and heaters, with many also having rear seat deletes. Powered by Mopar's new 7.0-liter Hemi V8 engine, rated at 425 horsepower, these superstock category cars were designed for serious performance. The 1967 Dodge Coronet WO23 stood out with its unique weight distribution strategies for enhanced racing capabilities. It featured light brakes in the front and heavy brakes in the rear, keeping extra weight over the rear contact patch of the race slicks for additional grip during takeoff. Originally priced at $4,700, around $44,122 today, the 1967 Dodge Coronet WO23 is now valued at approximately $130,000. Equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, the WO23 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds, and reach a top speed of 123 miles per hour, making it a formidable drag strip competitor. Number 7. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle 454 SS LS6. An exceptionally rare muscle car with only 20 to 25 units produced. It was introduced in 1970. The LS6 upgrade for the 7.4-liter V8 engine featured a single 4-barrel Holley carburetor, boosting power to 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, with actual output likely exceeding 500 horsepower. The Chevelle was already a formidable muscle car in the 1960s, but the LS6 package greatly enhanced its performance. With a 4-speed manual transmission, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds, and reach a top speed of 134 miles per hour. Originally priced at $4,200, around $33,940 today, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle 454 SS LS6 is now valued at approximately $660,000, and for valid reasons too. Number 6. The 1970 to 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible. If you thought it could get rarer, well, you thought right. With only 21 examples produced over 2 years, 10 per year, this rarity makes it one of the rarest American muscle cars. Its high production cost was comparable to other performance cars of the era, such as the Ford Mustang Boss Sport 29 and Shelby GT 350. In 1970, the Plymouth Barracuda underwent a complete redesign, making it eligible for the powerful 426 street Hemi engine for the first time. This engine delivered 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, making the Hemi Cuda the quickest Mopar of the classic muscle car era. With a 4-speed manual transmission, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 13.1 seconds, and reach a top speed of 117 miles per hour. Originally priced at $4,400, around $35,556 today, the 1970-71 Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible is now valued at approximately $3.5 million. Number 5. 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge Convertible. The 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge Convertible is a highly coveted and rare muscle car, with only 17 units produced. The GTO Judge was discontinued after 1971, making even the coupe version relatively rare, with 340 examples produced. The Judge featured Pontiac's most powerful engine of the time, a 7.5-liter V8 rated at 335 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque as part of the Mountain Performance package. With a 4-speed manual transmission, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.1 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 13.4 seconds, and reach a top speed of 125 miles per hour, despite its modest horsepower compared to other muscle cars of the era. Originally priced at $4,000, around $30,967 today, the 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge convertible is now estimated to be worth approximately $440,000. God, imagine if your grandfather decided to invest in such a car. Number 4. 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1. The 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1 is an exceedingly rare and highly coveted muscle car, with only 3 units produced. Redesigned in 1968, the C3 Corvette featured a meaner look based on the Coke bottle-shaped design. The ZL1 option, introduced in 1969, replaced the L88 engine with an all-aluminum 7.0-liter V8 designed specifically for racing. This engine was rated at almost 500 horsepower, making the Corvette ZL1 the fastest production car of its time. The ZL1 package was expensive, costing around $4,700, which matched the price of a 1969 Corvette and required additional mandatory options totaling around $550. As a result, only 3 cars were sold to the public. The Corvette ZL1 is considered the holy grail of Corvettes, and a 1969 model sold for $3.2 million in 2023, making it one of the most expensive American performance cars ever. Originally priced at $10,050, around $85,862 today, the ZL1 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 12.1 seconds, and reach a top speed of 151 miles per hour. Imagine showing up to a car meet in one of these. You'd be the king of the parking lot if you could find one. Number 3. 1967-1970 Dodge Coronet RT 426 Hemi convertible. The Chrysler B-body platform-based Dodge Coronet RT 426 Hemi convertible, introduced in 1967, offered a range of powerful engines, with the 426 Hemi being the most coveted. This engine, though slightly smaller than the 440, produced 425 horsepower, 35 more than the 440, making it a formidable performance option. Manual transmissions were rare, as most buyers preferred the convenience of automatics. The RT model, available as a hardtop coupe or convertible, lasted only 4 years. A dramatic restyling in 1968 gave the Coronet a bold new look, but this, combined with the waning muscle car era, led to a significant sales decline by 1970. The Coronet suspension featured a basic torsion bar setup in the front and leaf springs in the rear, better suited for drag strips than road courses. Surprisingly, it came with all-round drum brakes, despite disc brakes being available since the late 1950s. The convertible version of the Coronet provided a thrilling driving experience, with the rumble of the Hemi engine and the open top creating an unforgettable sensation. However, with only 2 Hemi-equipped convertibles produced in 1970, these cars are exceptionally rare and highly sought after, commanding top dollar among collectors. One of these rare convertibles had its engine replaced with a genuine Hemi and a factory 4-speed transmission, while the other was an automatic with optional disc brakes, further emphasizing their unicorn status in the muscle car world. These convertibles are highly sought after and rarely come up for sale, commanding prices exceeding $300,000 for the 1967 model and over $1 million for the 1970 model. The 1970 Dodge Coronet RT 426 Hemi could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 13.6 seconds, and reach a top speed of 137 miles per hour, making it a formidable performer for its time. Number 2. 1967 Shelby Cobra Super Snake. The 1967 Shelby Cobra Super Snake is an iconic and extremely rare American car, with only 2 units ever produced. Carroll Shelby modified the Super Snake to be street legal by adding mufflers, a windshield, and bumpers, while retaining its race spec components, including twin Paxton superchargers that boosted the 7.0-liter V8 engine to 800 horsepower. With a power-to-weight ratio comparable to modern supercars, the Super Snake could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds, complete the quarter mile in 12.4 seconds, and reach a top speed of 201 miles per hour. One of the 2 cars was famously driven off a cliff, and the remaining Super Snake was auctioned for $5.5 million in 2021, setting a record for an American-made vehicle at the time. Number 1. 1967 Shelby Mustang GT500 Super Snake. The 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake is a legendary and exceptionally rare muscle car, with only 1 unit ever produced. Introduced after Ford redesigned the Mustang to accommodate the 390-320 HP big block V8, the GT500 was powered by a modified Police Interceptor 428 CI engine rated at 355 horsepower. The GT500 outsold its small block GT350 counterpart, with 2,048 units sold compared to 1,175 GT350s. In addition to his Ford partnership, Shelby was the West Coast distributor for Goodyear. In February 1967, Goodyear asked Shelby to promote its new Thunderbolt tires using the GT500. Former Shelby American sales manager Don McCain suggested building a supercar with a racing 427 engine for the test and then producing 50 more units. Shelby tasked Fred Goodell, Shelby American's chief engineer, to prepare a GT500 with a special 427 racing engine, unique modifications, and Thunderbolt tires for the test in San Angelo, Texas. The Super Snake was distinguished by its unique styling and performed flawlessly during the 500-mile test, averaging 142 miles per hour. Despite attempts to generate interest for a limited run, the Super Snake was deemed too expensive and ultimately sold to pilots James Haddon and James Gorman, who modified it for drag racing. The car changed hands several times before undergoing a light restoration by collector Richard Ellis, returning it to its original tire test condition. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of classic muscle cars. We'd love to hear from you. Which car do you think is the best? And if you were lucky enough to see one on the streets, which would it be? Share your thoughts and let the excitement of these legendary machines inspire your next investment.